All right, so let's talk about fingering at the piano. When we are playing the piano, oftentimes when we see sheet music, we'll refer to our fingers as certain numbers, okay? So we'll talk about, your first finger, your second finger, middle finger, whatnot. On piano, we refer to this, your thumb as 1, index finger as 2, middle finger as 3, ring finger as 4, and your pinky as 5. It's the same in both hands, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you're looking at sheet music and you look, in your bass clef and it says 5, well, that would mean your pinky. If you don't know about sheet music yet, bass clef, treble clef, don't worry about it. We will talk about that a little bit later. But if you already kind of have a little bit of an understanding of that. So if you hear me in a video say, okay, you use your third finger, well, that's your middle finger. Or you use your pinky or your fifth finger, that's your pinky. A lot of times I kind of switch back and forth. Use your pinky, use your fifth finger, because fifth finger, actually takes longer than just saying your pinky. But anyway, if you see the number 5 written above a note, or a 4, or a 3, or a 2, or a 1, that refers to your finger numbers. Okay? Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right? Okay, now, what students consistently ask me about is how to improve their fingering and how to know which fingers to use on which notes. You'll notice that sometimes, if you're trying to figure out how to play a song like, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Right? You might start with your thumb and like, how do I know which finger to use? Well, this is where our 5-finger pattern comes in. Most of the time, when you see music written out and fingering put in, it's following this 5-finger pattern. Now, they don't bonk you over the head and say, oh, we're using a 5-finger pattern right now. But if we take our hand, we just relax, and we bring it up to the piano, you see my hands just relax, and it naturally takes this shape, okay? And it naturally wants to go over 5 notes. Now, obviously, my hand size is probably different than your hand size. Maybe yours is a little bit smaller, or maybe even a little bit bigger. Some people have thicker fingers. Some people have narrower fingers. Some people have long fingers and short fingers and whatnot. But for the most part, that finger position is going to work nicely over this 5-finger position. These 5 notes, right? And here's the 5-finger position in C. Right? We would call that our C 5-finger position or C 5-finger scale, right? If we were to play these notes. And this is a good exercise, just starting with each finger. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can play them together. Okay? And you also notice that I'm grabbing at these notes with my fingers. All right, rather than just trying to push down. Okay, it's more of a grab than a push. All right, so anyway, you have this 5-finger pattern, and some people, some teachers, some students learn. Okay, this is C position, and there's F position, and there's G position. You see, what I'm doing is that my thumb is on G, right, and I'm going up 5 notes from there. Some people really like that system. You're like thinking, oh, I'm in C position or G position or F position. Personally, I don't like it that much at all. And the reason that I don't like it is because I have seen a lot of students think, oh, okay, you start on C, that you automatically put your thumb starting on C. It's great for beginning students, and it's great when you're playing simple songs like Mary Had a Little Lamb, because Mary Had a Little Lamb is just a 5-finger song. But when you get into other types of music, rock, pop, Latin, jazz, gospel, funk, you're not always going to be staying in this 5-finger position. Okay? So it's good to know about, it's good to understand it, but it's also good to understand that you can move your fingering around. Okay? Now, anyway, getting back to this 5-finger pattern here, all right, well, that would give me these 5 notes, but what if I have to move up and go up to these notes? Would I just lift my hand? No, not necessarily. All right? A lot of times what we will do is we will cross under with the thumb or cross over with a finger. Now this is really important, so I want to say that again. I want to say it slowly and explain it to you. We would cross under our fingers with our thumb, so crossing under, all right? And that looks like this. I'm crossing underneath my finger with my thumb, okay? I'll do it on this angle as well, crossing underneath, crossing under. Or I cross over the thumb with one of my fingers. Now, when I say crossing over the thumb, I mean using my second finger, my middle finger, or my fourth finger. We almost never would cross our fifth finger over our thumb. I mean, just go ahead and try it. You can see how it's very tense. I'm not going to say that we would never. I said almost because, you know, maybe 1 in a millionth time you might have to do it, or it might be necessary to do it. But for the most part, it's your second finger, middle finger, and fourth finger will cross over the thumb, or the thumb will cross underneath one of those fingers. Same thing for crossing underneath. We normally would not cross our thumb underneath our pinky. Okay? So that means that if I had to play something like, let's say I had to play those notes. Now, I mean, obviously, I mean, what am I going to do? I'm running out of fingers here. Like these three work quite nicely, right? But if I'm going to try and go to these, I end up having to do something like this. We want to avoid doing that. As much as possible, you want to avoid lifting up a note and moving to the next note, all right, like that, with the same finger. The reason is that you're breaking the legato sound, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. So what we would normally do in something like that is cross underneath with our thumb. Now that's kind of a bad example because it's pretty far. That's a pretty far stretch to go from that E up to that A. But let's say we're going to do this. See what I just had to do there? I lifted up that pinky. So that would not be a good choice because we've broken the legato sound. Let me talk about what legato is.